So, class, welcome to the 18th lecture of the course. So, in this lecture, I will discuss something about this superposition theorem and what are the and why this superposition theorem plays an important role in AC circuits. So, in case of a DC circuit, though the application of superposition it is a bit complex process, but it was easy. However, in AC, we have to see what is the problem with superposition theorem, why we cannot have a single answer. So I will tell you why. So I told you like in DC theorem, in DC circuits, this superposition theorem is applied to linear AC circuits as well. Okay, but in case of an AC circuit, this superposition theorem it plays an important role because if you see if we have more than one source in a circuit, okay, and moreover that source is means I am saying suppose that we are having more than one sources. Suppose we are having two sources in the system, two AC sources, and the frequency of both the AC sources are different. Suppose one is operating at omega is equal to 2 and another is operating at omega is equal to 5. So if we'll have two sources which are operating at different frequencies, then how will you determine the impedance of the or this reactance of the circuits? For example, suppose this is an inductor and this is an capacitor. Okay, suppose here I have a source 75 cos omega omega, here I will take 2, and here I will say I have another source of 100 cos omega and omega, here I will take 5. Okay, so how will you calculate this XL and XC? Because you know that XC is equal to 1 by omega C and XL is equal to omega L. So if you have two sources in the systems which are operating at different frequencies, so which omega you should consider? Okay, so there this superposition theorem it plays an important role. So since we know, for example, look into this circuit. What is this? This is a voltage source and this is a current source. So what is the frequency of the voltage source? It is 5. It is 75 sine 5t. So omega is 5 here. And the voltage of this current source, it is 6 cos omega t. So omega is 10 here. Okay. So we have omega is equal to 5 and omega is equal to 10. How will you calculate XC and XL? L is given 1 Henry and C is given 0.2 Farad. So how will you calculate XC and XL? So since we have two frequencies, so we will have two values of XC and two values of XL. So how can we apply superposition theorem? So what we do, we know that since the reactance it depends upon frequency, so therefore we will have different phasor domain circuits or frequency domain circuits for different frequencies. Okay, so what will we do? We will first draw a circuit. We will first draw this circuit corresponding to omega is equal to 5, and then we will calculate omega naught. We will ignore this one and we will calculate omega naught. So in the second case, sorry, I made a mistake here. Suppose we have two sources which are operating at different frequencies. What we do, we will consider one source at a time and we will turn off the other source. Okay, so if we will consider this source at a time, so we will have to draw the circuit corresponding to this frequency. Okay, so corresponding to this frequency means XC will, in XC omega will be 5 and in XL omega will be equal to 5 because we are turning off this source, and we will calculate the value of V naught. Okay, in the second case what we will do, we will turn off the voltage source and we will consider the current source. So what is omega here? Omega is 10. Then we will again redraw the circuit, but here XC and XL will be corresponding to which frequency? 10. Okay, so in this case we will again calculate V naught. So we have calculated V naught corresponding to this source and V naught corresponding to this source as well. So in the last what we do, we obtain the total voltage by adding the voltages corresponding to this source and this source in time domain. So why we are adding it time domain, why not in frequency domain? So because we know that in this phasor of frequency domain, there comes a factor e raised to power j omega t, and this factor it changes itself after every angular frequency omega. So therefore it will not make any sense if we had two responses in phasor or frequency domain. Okay, so thus when a circuit is operating at two different frequencies or more than two different frequencies, what we do, we should add all the responses due to individual frequency in the time domain. Okay, in the time domain. So here I have done that. So I am considering a problem here. I have a voltage source of 75 sine omega t. Omega here is 5. 8 ohm resistor, capacitor 0.2 farad, inductor of 1 Henry, and here I have a current source of current 6 cos 10 t. So omega here is 10. So I have to calculate V naught using superposition theorem. As I have two sources which are operating at different frequencies, what I will do? I will consider first the voltage source. So if I am considering the voltage source here first, so what will be omega? Omega will be equal to 5 because it is 75 sine 5t. Omega will be equal to 5. What will be Xc? Xc is nothing but by omega c. So 1 by 5, omega 5 multiplied by 2. Xc will be 1. XL will be omega L. 5 1 multiplied by 1, 5. So this circuit, when I am considering this source only, I will transform this circuit into phasor domain. This is the phasor domain, 75 angle 0, 8 ohm resistor. So this Xc is equal to minus j and XL is equal to 5j. Now I can easily calculate V naught. So here I represented V naught by V naught dash and the current that is flowing in this capacitor by I naught dash. So first off, tell me what is the total impedance of this circuit. If you will see from this side, this is 8 ohm resistor and I have a minus j ohm capacitor and 5j ohm inductor. So it is this minus j parallel 5j plus 8. Okay, minus j parallel 5j plus 8. So using this I calculated z is equal to 8 minus 1.25 j. Once you calculated j, you can easily calculate the total current that is flowing in the circuit. I will be nothing but V divided by Z. So I calculated the value of I. No, I is coming out to be 9.26 angle 8.88 ampere. So what I am doing here, I am using current division formula. So what is the current that is going through this branch? The current will be total current I, okay, divided by sum of impedances. What is the impedance here? Only reactances. It will be minus j plus 5j, sum of impedances, multiplied by the opposite impedances, which is 5j. So here I am calculating it. I naught dash is equal to 9.26 angle 8.88, which is the current I, divided by sum of two impedances 5j minus j, multiplied by the opposite impedances. Since I am calculating the current that is flowing through minus j ohm this branch, so I will have to multiply the opposite branch, which is 5j. So using this formula, I calculated I naught dash. So once you have calculated I naught dash, so V naught dash is nothing but Xc into I naught dash. What is Xc? Xc is minus j. And what is I naught? I naught I calculated here. So substituting the value, I got V naught dash is equal to 11.57 angle 81.12. Okay. So what I am doing now, I am converting this. This is in phasor domain, phasor or frequency domain. So I have to convert this back into time domain. So in time domain, V naught t is equal to 11.57 sine. What was omega? Omega was equal to 5. Okay, and this was in the sine form. So I kept it in the sine form. So it is 11.57 sine 5t minus 81.12. Okay, volts. Now in the second case, I will consider the current source only. So omega was equal to 10. So corresponding to 10, I am getting Xc is equal to 0.5j and XL is equal to 10j. So Xc is equal to minus 0.5j and XL is equal to 10j. So the current source in phasor form, it is represented by 6 angle 0 and I have a 8 ohm source. So I am saying the current that is flowing here, it is I1. This was the total current and this current was I1. So I1 was nothing but 6 angle 0 using the current division here. 6 angle 0 divided by this total impedance, which is 8 parallel minus 0.5j, okay, plus 10j multiplied by the opposite. Opposite is 10j multiplied by 10j. So I calculated I1 here. Once you calculate, I calculated I1. Again, I will use a current division to calculate I naught double dash. So I have calculated I1. I1 is coming out to be I1 is coming out to be 6.31 plus 0.0205 J. Okay, so then I naught double dash is nothing but again current division here. I naught double dash is again current division. It will be I1 divided by sum of these two impedances multiplied by the opposite impedance. So it will be I1 divided by sum of the two impedances multiplied by the opposite impedance. So I got I naught double dash equal to 6.29 angle 3.73. So now I will calculate V naught double dash. V naught double dash is nothing but I naught double dash multiplied by XC. So it is I naught double dash. V naught double dash is I naught double dash multiplied by XC. XC is minus 0.5 J and I naught double dash I calculated here. So this is giving my V naught double dash is equal to 3.148 angle 86.236. Okay. So converting this back into the time domain form, I am getting 3.15 cos omega is 10t minus 86.24. Okay. So now the total voltage, it was the sum of the two voltages in the time domain form. So what I am doing, I am adding this voltage in time domain form and this voltage in time domain form. So this is the total voltage that I am getting. So look, I have two sources here which are operating at two frequencies. So I will get two terms. Okay. One is 11.57 sine 5t minus 81.12 and the second term is 3.15 cos 10t minus. If you will have three or four sources which are operating at different frequencies, what will you get? You will get, if you have three sources, you will get three terms, and if you will have four sources, you will get four terms in the final expression. Okay, so this was the importance of this superposition theorem, especially when we have two sources, when we have more than one source which are operating at different frequencies. So next, let me show you. So we have discussed about the Thevenin theorem in this DC. So that same applies to this AC as well. Okay. So so I am saying I have a linear circuit. Okay. And I have to calculate the Thevenin equivalent of this circuit across the terminals AB. Okay, so this is represented by this like VTH, ZTH, and terminals AB. Okay, what is VTH? VTH is nothing but the open circuit voltage across the terminals AB when all the okay. And same is the case with the Norton circuit. I have a linear circuit AB. So the Norton's equivalent will be a current source in this parallel with the Thevenin, this Norton impedance Zn. And what is IN? IN is nothing but the short circuit current across the terminals AB. Okay. So if you will see, if you will solve the circuit, you will get VTH is nothing but, if you will use suppose you are using a source transformation here. So same circuit can be converted into Thevenin circuit, and the same circuit can be converted into the Norton circuit. Okay, so I am saying if the same circuit has been converted into Thevenin and the same circuit has been converted into Norton's circuit, so I can say that these two circuits, they are equivalent. This circuit and this circuit, they are equivalent. So I can say that VTH is nothing but Zn into ITA into IN. Okay, because ZTH will be equal to Zn. Okay, if ZTH is equal to Zn, so we can say that this is a voltage source in series with the impedance, and this is a current source in parallel with the impedance. And if ZTH and Zn are equal, so we can represent these voltage source in terms of current source and current source in terms of voltage source using the source transformation method, like we studied in this our DC system. That is, voltage source can be converted into a current source and current source can be converted into a voltage source. Okay, so the same applies to the AC as well. In AC, we can also convert a voltage source in series with the impedance to a current source in parallel with the same impedance. Okay, what I am trying to say here, I am saying that if I have a voltage source in series with the impedance Z, and this is V, I can transform this source, voltage source, into a current source I in parallel with the same impedance. Okay, so I will be nothing but V by Z. Okay, so simply by in a DC we are considering only R, but in AC we have to take Z. Okay. Okay, so next I am solving a problem here. Okay, so the problem is like this, that we have a voltage source, we have a 6 ohm resistor, we have a 2j ohm inductor, then I have a capacitor of reactance minus j ohm, then a resistor 10 ohm, and these are the terminals A, B. So this is an open circuit. So I have to find the Thevenin equivalent of the circuit across the terminals A and B. Okay. So what I will do first I will calculate ZTH, Thevenin equivalent impedance. So for calculating ZTH, what you have to do, you have to turn off all the sources. So first step is calculate ZTH. So for calculating ZTH, we have to turn off all the sources. The only source that is present here is the voltage source. So how will you turn off this voltage source? Simply by doing what? By replacing it by a short circuit. So this is the circuit. Okay, if you will look across the terminals AB, what will be the total impedance of the circuit? If you will start from here, you will see this capacitor, okay, is in parallel with the series combination of this resistor and inductor. Okay, I'm saying this capacitor is in parallel with the series combination of this resistor and inductor. So I can say that this is 6 plus 2j, okay, because they are in series, parallel minus 4j. Okay, and this whole combination is in series with 10 ohm resistor. So it will be 6 plus 2j parallel minus 4j plus 10 ohm resistor. So you solving this, you will get ZTH is equal to 12.2 minus 3.2j. Now the next step is to calculate VTH. So if you will see here, VTH, that is the voltage across the terminals AB. What is the voltage across the terminals AB? If you will see the voltage across the terminals AB is nothing but the voltage across this capacitor. Okay, so that's what I am writing here. VTH is nothing but the voltage across the minus 4j capacitor. So what will be VTH? What will the drop across the capacitor? It will be total voltage, okay, divided by the total impedance multiplied by the impedance across which the voltage is to be calculated. So I am taking total voltage 75 angle 20 divided by total impedance, because you know the current will flow in this path only. Okay, if the current is flowing in this path, so what will be the current? Current will be voltage divided by total impedance. What is voltage? 75 angle 20 divided by total impedance. What is total impedance? 6 plus 2j minus 4j. 6 plus 2j minus 4j. So this will give me total current that is flowing in the circuit. So the current multiplied by the impedance of this capacitance or reactance of this capacitance, it will give me drop across the capacitance. So this is the current. I am multiplying this current by the reactance of the capacitance. Okay, it will give me the drop across the capacitance. So it will give me VTH here. Okay, so I have calculated VTH, I have calculated ZTH. Now I will make the Thevenin equivalent circuit. Okay, so VTH in polar form is 47.43 angle minus 51.56. So Thevenin equivalent will be VTH in series with ZTH. These are the AB terminals. So VTH is 47.43 angle minus 51.56. And what is ZTH? 12.4. ZTH is nothing but 12.4 minus 3.2J. So where is the answer? So ZTH, so VTH is nothing but 47.43 minus 51.56 and ZTH 12.4 minus 3.2J. So this is the Thevenin equivalent circuit. Now I will give you some questions which will be your homework. So questions are like this. So you have a, okay, so you have to determine the Thevenin equivalent as seen from the terminals A and B. So this is a 8 ohm resistor, this is a 4j ohm inductor, this is a 8 angle 0 ampere current source, this is a minus 2j ohm capacitor, 4 ohm resistor, and you have a dependent source of 0.2 V0. 0.2 V0. What is V0? V0 is the drop across this branch from this to this, drop across resistor plus drop across the inductor, it is V naught. So you will calculate, you will determine the Thevenin equivalent between the terminals A and B. Now the second problem I am giving you, it is that you have voltage, this current source 15 angle 0, resistor 2 ohm, capacitor. Here you have a resistance and an inductor. I think it should be 13J. What is it? Let me see the problem again. Let me check the problem. It is J3. Yes, it is 3J. And a dependent source of 0.5 I naught, where I naught is the current that is flowing in this branch. So you have to determine the Thevenin equivalent across the terminals A and B. Now the third question, you have to determine the Thevenin equivalent again between terminals A and B. So this is the circuit, this is the voltage source, you have a capacitor, resistor, inductor. Okay. So, and the last question, that you have to find I naught using the concept of source transformation. You have to calculate I naught using the concept of source transformation. So I have not shown what is the value of the, oh, just a minute. What is the value of this current source? This is 2.4 angle 90. It is 2.4 angle 90. Okay, here. So you have a current source of 2.4 angle 90. Then you have this branch with resistor and capacitor. Then this is a 2 ohm resistor. This is 1 ohm J ohm minus, this is plus 1 J ohm inductor, 5 J ohm inductor. Again you have a resistor and capacitor. So you can use source transformation. You have to use source transformation. This is a current source in parallel with an impedance Z. This is Z. You can convert it into a voltage source, okay, in series with the same impedance. Okay, and V is equal to nothing but I into Z. Okay, then you will get one circuit. So you have to calculate I naught using that technique. Okay. So that is it for today's lecture. I am taking a short lecture because of the health issues. I'm not able to take a lecture of 40 to 50 minutes. So that's why I'm making the notes first and then I am explaining them. I am not writing here. I am explaining so that I can finish the lecture in short time. If I will teach you this lecture in the class, maybe this lecture will take me 40 minutes to complete. But considering my health, I'm doing it in 22 minutes. So please solve these numericals, and after solving these numericals, you can mail me these numericals on my email ID. So my email IDs are already available with your CR. So please solve this and submit these questions to me before 25th of April. Okay. Thank you very much.